Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the Shed Podcast. I am Just Built Different, Cody Hawkins. Joining me here is Mr. Jimmy Fucho and Justin Toops. Are my colleagues here in the Shed crew here. I know we were behind about a week. We were not able to get our post-show live of Bash in Berlin. If I'm not mistaken, Justin, you were telling me that we basically all had similar predictions as to how that show was going to go out. So we're just going to go ahead and play some catch up with that. Also do some news outside of wrestling, and then lead up into this week in Monday Night Raw, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown. So
let's start with outside news.
All right. Well, in the outside news last week, Tom Latimer actually. Speaking of outside wrestling, in the NWA, Tom Latimer defeated EC3 to become the new NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He is the 102nd champion in the history and lineage of that title. So, Tom Latimer, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing a great title reign from you. Let's see. Also, Giselle Shaw will be leaving TNA. Her contract has expired and has not renewed, but on the upside, she is going to be working at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is the federation that was started by former TNA president Scott D'Amore. Let's see, who else is going to? Oh yeah, Don Callis and Mark Ronaldo are going to be the lead commentary for Maple Leaf Pro coming up soon, October 29th, 19th, and 20th. Sorry. They're going to be making their debut. It's going to be a 2-day event to premiere Maple Leaf Pro. Also, last week, Titan Towers was put up for sale. The original headquarters of the WWE/WWF back in the day, from May of 1991 till this year. It was just put out on the market recently, and Lord knows how much they're going to want for that big building.
A lot of money.
Also, I know y'all probably seen in the news from Friday Night SmackDown and as well as Monday Night Raw that Bret Hart will be the special guest for the season premiere of Monday Night Raw.
We actually have a crazy week of wrestling. We have the season premiere of Raw. We have NXT. I don't know what's so special about NXT. And we have the season premiere on USA of SmackDown. And I saw earlier that leaks are saying that they're trying to get the old Fist Titantron back for the open season premiere of SmackDown. That would be sick. That would be nostalgia, like bad.
It was like what, 03, 04 they had that?
That was I wouldn't say that was the Attitude Era. That was the Ruthless Aggression. That's what it was. It was the Ruthless Aggression era.
And also recently, Wesley Isold filing a lawsuit against Cody Rhodes, WWE, and their merchandising trade.
I know Drew has something to say about that.
That is the most stupidest lawsuit in the world. The dude is really freaking. I'm sorry. You know what? Screw this. This is not PG related. I am so fucking stupid. This motherfucker is gonna fucking file a lawsuit over the word the American Nightmare. Motherfucker, are you that fucking petty? Are you that broke of a fucking musician? Do you have to play that many fucking goddamn spittle bars where you barely even make fucking $5? You get free fucking drink tickets? Do you have to go ahead and sue over somebody over the word Come the fuck on, dude.
It shakes much. Like basically, it's trademark infringement, breach of contract, intentional interference with the American Nightmare name, because apparently he's been in
American Nightmare
for the past 26 years, and he holds a
American Nightmare.
He worked out a deal with Cody Rhodes in order for him to use the American Nightmare name.
So he gave him permission, now he's suing him.
Dude, you're more fucking famous now than you have ever been in your whole entire fucking career, because whenever people look up The American Nightmare, they see you and they're like, oh, this is music, let's go check this out also.
Right, yeah.
Bitch, you go your ass somewhere, you greedy ass motherfucker.
Hey,
that's like Cody with his song. You know, the acoustic song you put on the album. The one that Sammy wrote, or you and Sammy wrote, and then we put it on the album, and all of a sudden now it's his.
You know, I was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was. I mean, it was his. Did it to test it out and see how everybody would do it. I sent it to him. He's like, dude, I remember the song that you had, and I wanted to use it as kind of like a test and see how it went. He's like, bro, good job, but take it off your site.
Yeah,
I'm like,
ours, right?
I mean, he wanted like $2,000 for the song. I'm like,
we didn't even make $2,000 on the song.
It'd be different if we did.
Yeah, it'd be different.
Okay.
What about
a 6-year-old have more intelligent conversations and arguments than that bullshit?
What about they heat the turn on Bryan Danielson? Now listen, let's get this straight. You guys know I don't watch AEW. I can't stand AEW because it's not WWE. That's what I grew up on. That's what I watch. But that's all I see on TikTok, and it grabs my attention because it has everybody involved is WWE. Former.
So here's my take on it. This is a throwback. This is a throwback, and I said it earlier to you guys. Justin Roberts was watching that with a smile on his face. If you're a WWE fan, you get it.
You know what Bryan did to him during the whole NXT, the Nexus. That's what it was. The whole Nexus tape.
All In was such a great pay-per-view for AEW, and it was highlighted with so many great, spontaneous, precious moments. Then you go to All Out, where it's a straight fucking murder session, and so many attempted murder charges. It like
how do you have a pay-per-view? How do you have another pay-per-view already? Didn't Bryan Danielson just win the title as the other pay-per-view?
Yes.
Yeah. And usually All Out is 2 weeks after All In.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't watch AEW. I don't know. I'm used to WWE style pay-per-views where it's once a month.
Also, All In is actually going to be in Texas next year for 2025.
Oh, we might have to make a road trip.
Maybe. Well, that depends on if
I don't even know what to say about that, dude. The All Out was just straight. I mean, it was a murder session. There were so many times I was watching this, and I'm like, why are the cops not out here arresting somebody?
In Swerve Strickland, that power bomb onto that real pumice brick, dude.
Y'all making me regret not watching it now.
It was a great
spinal fusion surgery.
The Will and Nightingale match. I think it was happened this past. Yeah, the Will Nightingale match, and the girl sat there and got her knocked down to the splits and hit her hoo-hoo on the tacks.
How?
The hoo-ha in the
bed. Listen, just listening to y'all two talk together and like y'all mics cut out, that makes me more excited for y'all to be here live with these brand new microphones because they won't cut out.
Ready? I'm ready for Bad Blood.
Oh, Bad Blood, we're doing it. We're doing it. 2 hours before the show, we're going live.
Yep.
2 hours. You sure that's gonna be enough time with me and Cody and our mouthpieces that we have?
Fine, 3 hours. We're going 3 hours.
And if enough, we'll make it enough.
And another thing
is, like I said, whenever it comes to us, Justin is the tech, you're the mouthpiece, and I'm the looks.
Oh wow!
There you go.
You point right.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
let me get the hang of it.
Let me double check. Do it again. There you go. Perfect. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Finally, he got it.
Yes. Okay. So
Odyssey news out of WWE, but Odyssey Jones is no longer part of the roster. They just threw that storyline out the door.
I mean, if it wouldn't have been domestic abuse issues prior to his...
I got my take on that. There's been no proof, no evidence, no nothing. I feel like this is another Enzo Amore situation.
I thought it was an old charge.
And it's gonna bite them in the ass.
I thought it was an old charge.
They say it's old, they say it's new. They're not giving the actual details, and I feel like this is going to be exactly like an Enzo Amore situation,
they screwed up
where it's going to be proven that nothing happened, and it's going to bite him in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about it's not pertaining to wrestling though. That's like, people uproar about the new singer of Linkin Park.
Yep.
So we're not going to start on that. We're talking about wrestling.
No, don't
we're not going to talk about that
right now. So let's go to the next topic.
We might have an idea. We might start recording some like real world bullshit podcast where we're just talking about everything after.
Dude, that podcast would be so fucking long.
So
I saw on YouTube earlier. I follow a video of WrestleMania or something like that. They're saying that MVP is shooting shots at Triple H right now because of what they're doing with Omos. Because they're not booking Omos because Vince. Triple H wants Omos to be not another big show. He don't want him on TV every week. He wants him to be an attraction. Like we saw at Live Event when he was doing that little funny skit with Tozawa, that he wants him like that.
Yeah. Like basically they're putting it on national television.
Speaking of, who is watching the Vince McMahon documentary day one when it comes out on Netflix? Did you see who was in the trailer? They actually put Benoit in the trailer.
Yeah, I didn't see that part.
But see, it produced this, so
yeah, true.
It wasn't WWE who produced the documentary.
Okay, so are we going to talk about?
It's going to be interesting.
Are we going to talk about Bash in Berlin at all?
Let's go.
Okay, starting off, Cody Rhodes defeats Kevin Owens for the Undisputed title. I thought this was a bomb-ass match.
It was great.
To start the show, they set the bar high.
They did, and it just kind of showed that the old Kevin Owens, it like he couldn't pull the trigger.
But it reminds me a little bit because I read that his contract was coming up.
Yes,
yeah, it
at
did.
the end of the year.
Evan is capable of. The dude is making good money.
There is rumors that he is not going to re-sign. The other rumors are that he will be taking his ball elsewhere to either Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, the one that you had stated, or TNA. Yeah, he's not eyeing AEW. He said in multiple interviews he does not want nothing to do with the AEW because of how big AEW is getting. He wants somewhere more local, more home-based. So I can kind of see if it does go up, I can kind of see him going to Maple Leaf.
So do me a favor, unplug your microphone.
What's going on with it?
Just like
unplug it for a second.
All right, talk.
All right.
Okay, Jimmy, you start talking and Cody, you interrupted.
AEIOU.
Oh.
Okay, so on Streamlabs, I don't know if it's Discord, but while Jimmy's talking, I see Cody's mouth moving, but I don't hear his voice. And it's not like Japanese type bullshit. It's literally I can't hear your voice when you're talking. Because a while ago when you were talking and I interrupted you, I could see your voice, your mouth still moving, but I can't hear you. Anyway, we'll fix it later.
I think I might just turn off the mic for right now.
You can. Okay. Next up, we have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated the Unholy Union. This was the only match that we said that was definitely gonna change hands.
Yes, I saw that coming, and I've said that every single week. I've said that the Unholy Union did not need the titles; they were too green for it.
Yep.
And they put it on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, in my opinion, is still green. She's been there for a year. She's kind of working out some of the kinks, but you can still notice her greenness.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's a problem with her. I mean, it was a really good match. The dub got to the dub that should have been dubbed, so I was happy with that.
Like, quite honestly, Unholy Union is, I hate to say this, but they're transitional champions.
Yeah.
They really only put the titles on them to where, Scotland had a hometown champion.
Yeah, because they were
crowned
on Drew
at Clash at the Castle. They did a good job. They've done a great job being champions. They did what they had to do. They even got upgrading gear. Their dynamic has gotten a little more crisp compared to whenever they won the championships.
But you kind of got to give the fans what they want.
They still have a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
Okay, if anything, this should be a challenge to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to, turn it up. To where if they really want to be considered contenders and a legitimate tag team in the women's division of WWE, they need to turn it up to 11.
Yeah.
We'll get this later on in the podcast, but we'll bring this up more later on the podcast to what you're saying, because they did have that match against on Raw.
Yeah, Kai.
And that was a really good match, and I've seen their technique and it tremendously change.
Yeah,
you can see them
the
from Bash to Berlin. You can see how much they've changed.
And I don't know about y'all, but I thought with match of the night, CM Punk defeats Drew McIntyre in a strap match. And who said it? Who said in the predictions that the bracelet is gonna break? Who said it? The bracelet is broken.
It didn't break.
What? Drew broke it.
Drew broke it on Raw.
Oh, my bad. It was on Raw. My bad.
But it still got broken.
It still got broken.
Drew broke it on Raw and murdered CM Punk on Raw.
And he actually got into not Twitter, an X debate with the girl that actually made the bracelet for CM Punk. It said something about how her dreams have been coming true, that they've been using her products as part of the storyline, and then Drew replied, and the conversation ended. Drew was like, "His blood is on your hands," and it ended right there. But this match was freaking amazing. I loved it.
Oh, it was great. Them boys beat the living tar out of each other, my guy.
Yep.
That was a fact.
This was a kind of hard pay-per-view for me to watch. Because when I watch Raw, when I watch SmackDown, I always fast forward the matches that I don't want to watch. Pay-per-views, I'm kind of forced to watch the match because it's live, and you have to watch pay-per-view live. And I was away on vacation when this happened, so when I got back that Monday for Labor Day, I sat down and I tried to watch it, and it literally took me 30 minutes to watch the whole pay-per-view. I didn't watch the women's side, I didn't watch the women's. I watched the next 3 matches that we're going to talk about. Those were the only matches that I discussed. But that's leading into what is it? Terror Twins defeated Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan in a mixed tag match.
But this was necessary, honestly, with the storyline of the Judgment Day.
You know what I think? I don't want to interrupt you, but you know what I think they're pulling for? Which somebody said it online. They don't know how it's going to work, but I think they're pulling for a Rhea Ripley versus Dominic Mysterio. And Rhea Ripley versus Dom.
Yeah, Rhea versus Dom.
They never put a man over on a woman, except for the Attitude Era when they did it with China, because China took on men.
Especially there in Continental Time.
What's her name?
Yeah.
What's her name? The Glamazon. Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix.
She took on men too. She was in the Rumble for God's sake. But Rhea, they're saying that Rhea is going to take on Dom, and Dom had an interview with another podcast, and he said he is totally down if WWE is to face Rhea Ripley in a match. But I'm going to keep the next thing I got to see. I'm going to keep that for when we talk about Raw, because there's a lot that happened on Raw. Jimmy, you're not sorry, just to say. You're yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
What else happened in this match? We knew we had interferences in this match.
Yeah, Judgment Day, of course. Shit.
And of course, Carlito and JD McDonough took 99% of the hits. Jimmy, you turned around again.
I don't know. But
I think he's trying to figure something out on his phone real quick.
No, he's on his computer. There it is.
There
we go.
So they defeated Dominic Mysterio, and the last match, which really I wasn't even interested in, Gunther versus Randy Orton. I wasn't even interested in the match.
This was actually not a bad match, Justin. I mean, I don't want to contradict that, but it was a hard-hitting match. Now, knowing that Randy Orton has been around for over 2 decades in the WWE as we speak, and for him to face somebody who is as snug and as stiff as Gunther, I think it was he's not a fan of it from what I was told, but for the sake of the business, he took that match head on, and it was a great knockdown drag-out style.
It was.
It did give Gunther some brownie points with Orton, to where he basically, that match told Orton that Gunther is ready to carry that torch.
Well, I have to say that
it was a sign of respect.
Yeah, I have to say that this match, because like we talked about, this pay-per-view was just a throwaway pay-per-view. It was just a filler, kind of.
Yeah.
But this match but I kind of feel like this match right here kind of didn't, like you said, didn't tell a story. It was kind of a passing the torch to see if he was ready to be the champion that he is. And I saw a picture online. It was kind of sick. It was like all of our wrestlers, the Ruthless Aggression era. It was them lined up in a V, and they're walking toward the sunset, and it says there's one left, and Randy Orton's right in the middle. Everybody else retired. But John Cena's not retired right now, but he will be after next year. But after that, Randy just signed a 5-year deal. So
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You still got 5 more years with the WWE to make history, and I don't know. Like, excuse me, he could potentially, match up to Cena and Flair's heavyweight title record even within those 5 years, if not break it.
All right, moving on. We're going to Raw. All right. So Rhea opened Raw again, or was it Dominic Liv?
No, it was Rhea.
Okay, so Rhea opened up. Of course, she got interrupted by Dominic.
Looked fucked up like nothing. Like he was all fucked up.
Yo, what's up with freaking Rhea and Damian Priest getting their legs stuck in the damn ropes?
Right.
But Liv Morgan damaged Rhea's knee. That was the opening segment. That was over with. And then they did the backstage segment with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. He wanted Finn Balor. No. What's it, Finn? No, he wanted Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, he wanted Dom and Balor.
Wait, no. Yeah. No, it was JD McDonagh.
And then Priest ended up, calling upon Jey Uso to be his partner.
No. Priest didn't do that. Priest didn't do that. Rhea said, Mommy said I got somebody and don't worry about it. And then later in the show, it was revealed that she was eating all over the place, and that was his partner.
Pretty much.
Alright, another match that doesn't make any damn sense. American Made defeated Alpha Academy. I don't know how many times they're going to go against each other. But I know
Carmelo Hayes and Andrade over that.
But I know that American Made and Alpha Academy is kind of like a bridgeway to the Wyatt Six. So
yeah.
Well, that's the next thing.
Then they have that. Then Chad Gable sat there and cut that good little decent promo that he had.
Just about to say that. American Made challenged the Wyatt Six to a street fight next week on Raw. Yo, Raw's gonna be pretty lit tomorrow night. I wish I had the license to watch it live and stream it live with y'all. I wish, but I don't have the license to do that.
Right. Not yet. We're getting there.
Maybe y'all can help me out, but I don't know what the hell's going on with this whole Shayna Baszler and defeated Zelina Vega. I saw Zelina is really going after that faction, and there's somebody else that interfered. I'm trying to read it. Valkyria. She attempted, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all caught it. She said, Zelina Vega said, we need help. And then Valkyria said, don't worry, next week we're in Toronto. Whatever. Trish Stratus' hometown. So we could see a Trish Stratus return tomorrow on Raw. Just for help. So. Yeah, we could see it. And, moving on, just like Jimmy said, Drew McIntyre viciously attacks CM Punk, murders him, takes the bracelet, breaks it. Wow.
Shoves in his mouth. I can kind of see a last man standing, first blood, or a. I
agree.
How many kicks did he give the Punk in that beat?
A lot. But he's.
Like, how many freaking claymores is he gonna have to dish out? He's killing the finisher. If he's having to hit him with a finisher 5-6 times in just a squabble,
but dude,
that's killing. You're not protecting a finish that way. If you're gonna eat a claymore, one should do it.
One big one, yeah. But
he kept on doing it to go ahead and make more of an enforcer situation style.
Yeah. So he broke the bracelet. This is where I think we're gonna see AJ Lee now. I think AJ Lee's going to have something to do with this feud.
It holds potential. It does hold potential.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Like, to hear her fucking music hit, dude, that
would we will. But, like she stated in a tweet, if she comes back, she will come back, but she doesn't want to come back and wrestle. Her in-ring is done right now. As of now.
Done.
But CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, I hate Drew. I really do. But they got me 100% invested in this feud, and I love it. It reminds me of the Attitude Era because we're investing us so much in it. Now we're emotionally.
It's a proper build.
Exactly. Now we're invested.
It's a proper build.
But I agree with Jimmy on two things. It could be an ambulance match, or it could be a first blood. I think we're going to see a first blood somewhere in these matches for the pay-per-view. because we're Triple H era, the Blood era. I think
that's a match you have. That's a match we haven't seen in a while. Neither the last first Blood match I remember was what? What was it? Austin and Austin and Bret.
Yeah, I think so. We'd have to look
was
that
it
up.
Austin and Bret Hart?
We have to look that. We're gonna move on, but Jimmy, go ahead. I know you're on your computer. Google that. See when the last first Blood match was.
All right, Googling now. Yeah, I'm on my computer. I'm trying to figure out freaking my Discord keeps on going black screen. I keep on losing you guys, so it's like.
But
I just started been acting funny all day.
So the next one is pronounce me if I'm wrong. Anybody want to say his name? Dragunov.
Dragunov.
There you go. Versus Dragon Lee and Dirty Dom. I actually thought Dirty Dom was gonna win this. I actually thought he would.
Yeah, I thought so too, but at the same time, you know, the heat with the Terror Twins and Dom and I mean Judgment Day and all of them, that was bound to cause a huge conundrum. And you know, Ilya Dragunov has proven to be an outstanding in-ring performer.
They got a badass main event set up tomorrow night. That Fatal 4-Way is going to be amazing. And I think we're going to yeet our way to Bad Blood because I think they're finally going to let Jey Uso challenge for the belt. He's not going to beat Braun because if you see it, if a lot of people pay attention, it's not just the Fatal 4-Way, but you have to look at the backstage segments too. He is doing storylines with Braun, talking about how a member of his family ain't beat a member of their family and this and that. So he's doing a storyline behind the storyline.
Braun Breaker, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's like I said, it's long-term storytelling. That's a lot of foreshadowing leading up to Bad Blood, and moving forward. And it's just, this is what WWE has been on the ball with, and they're like, I say 90% of their storylines are retaining traction. They're still gaining traction and still progressing and snowballing. The like the whole American-made Alpha Academy thing, it's about I give that a 50-50 if it's going to still retain traction. But with the Wyatt 6 situation, along with American-made, I think that would be the one that gains traction a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, they can still, like, Alpha Academy can still be friends and do, like, singles matches, and they'll come out and support each other as managers and things like that. But in light of the whole Wyatt 6 situation, it is difficult to try to maintain every storyline and make sure they gain traction. So, like I said, about 90% of their storylines across all three shows, Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, like 90% of the storylines that are being told in the shows are still, you know, they still have traction and they still have, you know, that snowball effect.
So it looks like the last first blood match that WWE had was John Cena beat JBL in a looks like one night stand.
ECW One Night Stand. Oh boy, that was a great pay-per-view.
All right, y'all, hold on a second. We're gonna pause and play the sponsorship video. Alright, we're back. Next up, the Unholy Union defeated Damage Control. This is the one you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so the Unholy Unions, like I was saying, their technique and what they're doing is changing their aspect and how they're doing it. You can tell that they're learning from their mistakes, if that makes sense.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And that's what it takes. It takes in-ring, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of training, it takes a lot of spending time together as a tag team and working together. You know, their tandem offense is working out really well. They're tagging in at the right times.
Yep.
They're sticking to their times, more importantly. And they're still able to, you know, to help tell the story of the match.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances that they're only allowed like maybe 10 minutes. Like 10 to 12 minutes with commercials, which kind of sucks. I hate the commercials. If they're going to do commercials, make it picture-in-picture.
Yeah, like watch the match while the pay-per-view is going. That's why it's so much better. That's why it's so much better to watch it live when you're there, because it goes to commercial break.
But the sponsors are so greedy about taking up the entire TV screen with their commercials.
Right. I also have to say, whenever going back to Drew McIntyre beating the holy hell out of CM Punk, I was actually pissed off. When he was talking about challenging for the title and all that, I was like, nah, him and Drew are not done yet. There's no way. The same thing happened. The same thing that happened with Drew when he thought it was over with CM Punk. CM Punk came out and whooped his ass. Next thing you know, they're in a strap match.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But what about this? What about they throw into a loop? Sami Zayn challenged the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther.
Because like Gunther, Gunther was talking, bumping the jib. Sammy comes out, he's saying, basically, I have fought hard. I am a representative of this company. I haven't gone this far just to get this far. I want to challenge you for the heavyweight title. And then Gunther basically says no as he's walking. And now Sammy gives him a nice little reality check, telling him that in his entire time in the WWE, Sammy is the only person to legitimately beat Gunther. And, it kind of stopped Gunther in his tracks.
Yeah.
It makes a really, like, Sammy made a really bold statement right there. Because, this is just going back to WrestleMania. Sammy busted out a move he hasn't used in almost a decade. Okay? That brainbuster on the top turnbuckle.
Never comes to Sammy and Gunther. Never comes to those two. Those two fight so hard and bring so much out of each other than any other competitors. Whenever it comes to them two, you know damn good and well that you're gonna get a fucking 20-star match.
Well, I don't know, bro. Ilya Dragunov and Gunther from back in NXT UK, that was a beat down.
He also had a good valid point when he said that when you win the Intercontinental Champion, it usually is a stepping stone to the World Heavyweight title. And that's been, for the past few years that's been happening. And Sammy beat Gunther, and Sammy lost the title. Now it's time to go after the world title, just like Gunther did.
True.
It's time to go to the next level, and I think this is it. This is going to be a good opportunity at Bad Blood if Gunther accepts the challenge.
Dude, imagine the pop when that hand goes down for 3 and Sammy would win the belt. Imagine the pop.
As much as we would love for that to happen.
No, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying if and when it happens. Imagine the pop.
But it's the hope. It's the hope of the fans, hoping that Sammy would be able to do it. Would be able to beat Gunther like he beat him for the IC title.
Yep.
Which great. That was a great match. It was awesome storytelling leading up to Mania, and then what was it like? Not even 2 months after, Sammy would drop it to Braun. Which look. It happens. That's how stories are told. Curveballs will come out of anywhere, but out of nowhere like an RKO.
I don't feel like, excuse me for saying it, I don't feel like Sammy should win the title. I feel like Sammy should be the Tommy Dreamer per se.
Yeah.
I was about to say that too. You just took the thought clean out of my head.
Well, apparently, they're saying that he had rib injuries from last week, but Bronson Reed actually had COVID last week. That's why he wasn't on Raw. So they replaced him with Braun Strowman. I didn't watch this match.
I was completely surprised that Braun Strowman won that.
Wait, he did? Holy crap.
Strowman did
win. They're doing the feud. I was shocked.
Oh, did you?
I didn't think they were going to pull that trigger.
Did y'all see?
I mean, Pete Dunne beat the hell out of Sheamus with a shillelagh.
What's his name?
Pete Dunne has like fucking 20 feuds going on right now.
What's his name? He was tagged up. He was tagged up with Ludwig Kaiser, his partner. Da Vinci and everything. He's back. He's back.
We'll talk about that on SmackDown.
Oh, he's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, wait, whoa. Okay, so we're gonna finish off Raw with the main event. Damian Priest and Jey Uso yeet their way to defeated Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I'm gonna say it like Jimmy says it every week. The Judgment Day does not need to be tag team champions. It's all over the internet right now that they haven't did one title defense since they had champions, and it's been a while. It's all over the internet.
I could have sworn they defended against Miz and Truth for like a
maybe a rematch call, but
yeah, that's about it.
They never defend the titles, and the fans are getting so sick of the titles not being on a PLE. It's
not to mention, there's not much of a tag division on Monday Night Raw.
There isn't. Maybe that's why they're not defending the titles. That's why I think they should go. I don't know if they should, but you probably would agree because you said there's too many champions to begin with. They should go back to one heavyweight champion, one tag team champion, and you got your middle class champions, but only tag titles and world titles be defended on both shows. But then again, you would have all these big storylines going on at one time.
Yeah, but at the same time, having it would actually add prestige to
having
one set of tag championships. I mean, the World Heavyweight Champion and the Undisputed Championship, I can understand those.
Which one do you
I can understand
which one
being there.
Which one, in your opinion, and both of y'all answer this, which one, in your opinion, think would be the top tier championship? Would it be the Undisputed title or would it be the World title? In your eyes.
Well, Undisputed as of right now.
I think the Undisputed title is the number one title, and I also think that the World title is the workhorse title.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically showing that there are more than just a handful of superstars that can be champion and can bear that flag and represent the company. But to me, I think the tag division is the weakest in a long time.
It is.
Because there's not very many tag teams. So if you actually put one tag team championship, not just the WWE tag team championships and then the world tag team championships, I would keep the world tag team championship.
Wait, is that the one on? Is that the one on SmackDown?
No. That's just the WWE tag team championship.
Oh, no, we want those. They look like the Attitude Era belts.
You talk about SmackDown. SmackDown has the same situation going on with their titles.
It does.
But there's still the Street Profits, DIY. There's actually established teams going after those belts. Monday Night Raw,
they don't have no fucking. They're fucking caught up yet again in fucking feuds like it.
Yeah.
Still
to add to your complaint about being too many titles going on, Karrion Kross actually brought it up to Triple H that he should bring back either the ECW title or the Hardcore title, but make it to where both titles are the same thing. It's 24/7. It's Hardcore rules. All that. I would rather than bring back the Hardcore.
It's a gimmick. We don't need another gimmick title right now.
Hey, y'all talk. I'll be right back.
Like, honestly, we don't need another gimmick championship. There's too many championships floating around in the ether of the WWE. I say if they would concentrate down to one tag team championship, I'm okay with that. Because we have enough tag teams to go across both SmackDown and Raw, bounce them around to where, that one tag team championship holds major significance because it's being defended in both Raw and SmackDown. That's just my honest opinion. As for the women's championships, it's still a toss-up because there's, you have your World Women's Champion, which is Liv Morgan, and then you have your WWE Women's Champion, which is Nia Jax. Each one of them have a storyline, but I think people are more drawn to Liv Morgan and the World Women's World Championship because of the storyline with Judgment Day. At the same time, Nia Jax is having herself a good set of momentum because her being the WWE Women's Champion, and then having Tiffany Stratton as Miss Money in the Bank, that's a good story that's going to develop if done properly. And it's so far not bad. I dig how Tiffany She put the strap on, like she put the messenger strap on the suitcase and got it bedazzled, it's all sparkly, and it's great. It goes well with the gimmick, and there's a lot going on there. There's so much going on that they try to condense it. Just even if they condense it down to 70% of what it is now,
the storytelling
it'll still hold major significance moving down the road.
The storytelling that is going on in SmackDown is so much different than WWE's SmackDown.
I agree.
Now, I think that there's a reason being for that. I think the reason being is that right now, SmackDown's moving to USA.
Yep.
Raw is currently in limbo. They're on USA right now until they start in Netflix. I think that the story building for Raw and a lot of the major things that we want to happen and we want to see on Raw will happen after they transitioned into Netflix.
When they transition to Netflix, right? Absolutely. And I like what they're doing right now. There's a lot of good storytelling. There's a lot of good storylines. There's a lot of pretty well built snowball effect, things happening. There's multiple snowballs rolling at the same time on different points of the hill, and they're all going to be able to hold a major amount of damage and significance whenever it comes to, well, I say damage, I mean by like intensity. How hard is it going to hit the fan? Because the fans are really into WWE. They're doing their job right, which is as opposed to the competitor, the alternative brand of AEW. There's a lack of that big time right now because they got too many good old boys.
The difference between AEW and WWE is that whenever it comes down to AEW is more wrestling based than storytelling based. WWE is more storytelling than wrestling based. You have your wrestling, you have everything pointed out and where it needs to be and how it's going to be done, but they tell stories. Yes, AEW tells stories, but not like WWE tells stories.
It's like basically they're on opposite sides of the scale. WWE is more story than wrestling. AEW is more wrestling than story.
And I think that's a win. It's a balance. It's a good balance.
But if you look at the ratings difference between WWE and AEW, it's like night and day. WWE's pulling in anywhere between 1.9 to 2.7 million people a week, while AEW's only catching like 650,000 and on the low end 410,000.
But look at it this way: those are NXT numbers.
Basically, NXT numbers. Yeah.
How long has NXT been running on actual live TV?
On live television? It's been a while. It's been a few years, but at the same time, it has been like most of their stuff was usually on the WWE network.
It's been longer than AEW. AEW has a main wrestling company, and they're pulling NXT numbers, and they've only been down for 5 years.
Was it like 2013, 2014? They were on the WWE Network weekly on Tuesdays? Yeah. And then it took like 5 years for them to go on national television?
They're 5 years at 600, 700,000. Slowly building. WWE has been around since before we were even fucking born. Since our grandparents were born. Think of it this way.
Oh, yeah. Well over a century.
WWE dates back to WWF. Before it was WWE.
Yeah, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Worldwide Wrestling Federation to World Wrestling Federation to World Wrestling Entertainment. This is a company that has built its fan base and has a consistent fan base. Hell, I remember the first time I watched WWE. Well, WWF was back whenever I saw a VHS that my grandpa showed me back in the early 90s. Before I even saw it. And then you have AEW. AEW, who's been around for 5 years, and they're pulling these kind of numbers. Of course, whenever it comes down to pulling bigger numbers, you're going to have WWE because of how long they've been around. Everybody that you talk to that's a wrestling fan, they'll all tell you some story that their grandpa or their dad sat there and showed them some video that made them a wrestling fan, and then they transition like, oh my God, I love wrestling.
Right. Absolutely. Everybody's got a story like that. Absolutely.
I remember telling.
I was 5 years old whenever I started watching it on Saturday mornings after the cartoons. Okay, watching like for Saturday night main event tapings and things like that. So I was like 5, 6 years old watching Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Tito Santana, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts, Rick Martel, Shawn Michaels in his early days. Razor Ramon, that's my boy. So like I can go down the list of the entire like 89 to 95 rosters because I used to follow even as a kid. So yeah, I mean you're right that like WWE has been around way longer, but considering what was going on during COVID era, especially between both AEW and WWE, AEW was getting 800,000-900,000, sometimes up to 1 million viewers a week. And now it's gone to like they've dropped 35-40% over the last few years, mainly because of the talent leaving. And there were certain talents like CM Punk, that issue. Sammy Guevara is finally back. Like some of the talents that were there to start off. Punk wasn't there to start off, but at the same time, it was a great acquisition, and it just became backstage politics and BS that, caused people to leave. Punk took an advantage of that and used it as a bargaining chip from AEW to go back to WWE, which is amazing. I love it because that's how business happens. That's how business is conducted. He basically used AEW to get, even though he spent like the majority of his time injured, the matches he did have, it showed Punk can still do this shit, and then going back to WWE, he gained, like his recovery, he gained a lot more mass, he looks a lot more formidable. Watching in the last couple of pay-per-views that Punk's been wrestling, it is great to see him, and like his presence in WWE is another reason why WWE is probably one of the greater wrestling companies of this century, if that, like even more, like in the last like 80-90 years, I think it's been around.
So in my opinion,
it's wonderful to see.
In my wrestling opinion, I think what happened with the fan falling out, I think that is because like I said, in my professional wrestling opinion, I think it's from Tony Khan doing the fan grab, where whenever you had COVID, the COVID situation that was happening, we were seeing original AEW stars.
I do agree with that. I do love it.
And over the past years, we've been seeing more WWE and him pushing AEW stars to the back. I stopped watching because that's one of my main reasons why I watch it by the original every here and there. But whenever I was watching the Acclaim, I was watching MJF, I was watching Willow Nightingale, I was watching AEW for the AEW stars.
What are we talking about?
Right, not for the ones that are coming from the other company.
Catch me up. What are we talking about?
We were just talking about our contrast and differences between how we feel about the two companies. But we're going to get back to WWE here and move on to NXT that happened this past Tuesday, which was a pretty solid.
I want to interrupt you now.
But also a really solid NXT. It started off with Ethan Page, NXT Championship, cutting a promo. Trick Williams came in, did it like they traded words. Pete Dunne came in for an attack, and it was broken up by officials, which led to the main event of Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne at the end of the night. Guys, I mean, like what's your take on it, Jimmy?
I don't have a take. I don't watch NXT too much.
I didn't watch much. I saw the Ethan Page promo. That was whenever he faced Joe Hendry that week, right?
Yeah.
No.
He faced Joe Hendry last week.
Yeah.
No, that was last week.
So, like I said earlier, Pete has so many fucking feuds going on with so many people.
He's got his hand in too many cookie jars.
I mean, if you look at Butch, oops, my bad. Pete Dunne. I don't want him to go.
Yeah, he's starting not like that.
Don't call me Butch.
Look, it's really good. in what he's going on right now. Ethan Page came in and took the title from him. And guys, I really do apologize if it comes off this way. I don't mean to sound this way in WWE wise, but look, I don't think Ethan Page should have lost the title. I think Trick should have won the title.
Yeah, Trick should have still been champion. Honestly, that was a bit of a that was a weird grab of the pop there and change of the card.
Yeah.
Because nobody really liked Ethan Page. Nobody knew that much about Ethan Page unless you were a fan of AEW, and still nobody likes Ethan Page.
Well, I mean, unless you were also an Impact fan, because I mean, Ethan Page did have a few years with Impact Wrestling, now known as TNA.
His TNA run was not as impactful on his career as AEW.
Yeah.
If anything, I thought it was a bit of a buzzkill because he had a match against himself. Okay, to end his career in Impact.
That's like the whoop that Trick chant. That's it.
I love that chant.
I can't wait to hear that on Raw or SmackDown when he comes to the main roster.
Yeah, moving forward, we went to a triple threat tag team match between Hank and Tank, Gallus, and the Rascals. One of my favorite tag teams coming out of TNA.
Once again, I don't know any of these people.
Didn't the Rascals win the number one contendership?
Yeah, it was number one contendership.
Yeah, they won it.
Basically, it was a good match all around.
TNA and WWE partnership has been phenomenal. It has been.
Yeah,
it's been absolutely amazing.
I would actually love to see TNA pick up a WWE title and bring it over to TNA.
It could happen. It could happen.
I want to see it happen. I'm just saying. Or vice versa. I want to see something like that happen. Because, look, it's a great partnership. But I guarantee you let somebody from another company hold another company's title and you bring it to their TV, I guarantee you're going to have some eyes on that.
Well, I mean, look what the women's champion did. She brought it to the Royal Rumble.
Right. I mean, Jordynne Grace is an absolute freaking unit of a woman.
Would y'all like to see another invasion like we did with ECW and WCW, but between two brands?
Nope, I'm good.
But if we did see that, what two brands would you think would be number one and would sell tickets? I personally think it would be WWE versus AEW.
Right. It would be, like, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of people that would want that, but at the same time, that could also kill AEW's fan base.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
But
I'm just saying,
so you're tiptoeing around landmines whenever you think that kind of stuff.
But the good thing about the partnership is we could see something with TNA in the future.
Could, yeah. And which is something I like to see happening because TNA at one point was dead heat competition with WWE. Like back in the early days of TNA, you were getting 2.5 to almost 3 million viewers a week.
Yeah, with Sting and Samoa Joe and all that.
Stacked them all.
I actually watched
TNA. TNA's top versus WWE's top.
See, I would love
that would be nice next year.
I would love to see
next year.
That
would be pretty good. Yeah. Next year would be a definite.
Because you already know the War Games match this year. It's Bloodline.
Oh.
But yeah, going back to the triple threat tag for the number one contendership of the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Rascals pulled out the win. Joe Coffey tried to interrupt during this match. Javon Evans came in to make the save. The Rascals win via a Meteora and Senton combo, which I love. The Rascals tandem offense. They're a very hybrid style, which it's befitting of NXT because NXT has been known to have a lot of great hybrids come through that company. Guys like Ricochet, guys like Wesley, guys like the Rascals, guys Zach Wentz. Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, and then he did have a good showing last week this past week on Dynamite, which was awesome, going against his name is Fletcher. He had a great Dynamite debut against Kyle Fletcher.
My screen turning, guys. I forgot to go ahead and turn off my alarm. Apparently, right now I'm supposed to be getting up to go to work, and my apologies.
I thought you was actually going to work. I was about to say, damn, take us with you. We gotta finish this podcast.
So getting out there, moving on to the next match of the show was Lexis King versus Menza from the Middle Four. Lexis King wins. He won via a leverage pin, which is classic heel style. There was a lot of a lot of trash talking, which kind of triggered
Lexis King.
I'd be tired of him too if I knew who he was.
Lower mid-card
Lexis
status.
King is the son of Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman.
Lexis King needs to get bumped up. He needs to go for the Heritage Cup. He needs to win the Heritage Cup or win the North American title. He needs something like that.
It's going to be hard to stop Obafemi, though. It's going to be hard to stop Obafemi. Getting on to it, Tatum Paxley taking on TNA's Rosemary. This was a good match. Rosemary was also accompanied to the ring by Wendy Chu. This was a good all-around, good strike style, very, very cause-worthy match. Tatum Paxley coming out with the win. After the match, Wendy Chu would go in and attack Paxley along with Rosemary. Lara Valkyria comes back to NXT and makes the save, helping out Tatum Paxley and creating that bond. So this is telling me there's going to be a tag match between Paxley and Valkyria, and then Wendy Chu and Rosemary.
Yeah.
I got to check something right quick.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll keep on going. The next match, which was well, it wasn't the main event, but it was Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams. It was ruled a double countout. The fight continued after the bell rang. After the double countout ruling, it caused a separation. Agents and referees broke up the fight. Yada yada. It was a very, very. It wasn't a very long match, but it's still. It's pushing the story.
It's building.
Like it's not a kick the can situation, like in a bad way, but this was a good way to kick the can.
Yeah.
You also had Javon Evans taking on Joe Coffey from Gallus. Javon Evans with the win. Cedric Alexander came in and made a save, trying to prevent Gallus from, giving Joe Coffey the advantage and get the win. So Javon Evans got the pinfall there. Good solid storytelling here. Good strikes. Joe Coffey is a heavy hitter. Make no mistake, the dude can take anybody's head off. He might be short and a little stout, but that doesn't mean he can't haul off and slap someone's teeth out their mouth. The next was the North American Championship title defense between champion Obafemi and Stax from the family. Oba retains via a pop-up powerbomb and a couple of bad, crash and burn slams. Obafemi is an extremely dominant man. Who do y'all think? Man. Yeah, I mean, this dude is basically, Omos if booked properly.
Yeah.
If Omos was booked properly, him and Obafemi would be like the new the new Twin Towers. Or the Towers of Destruction, or Towers of whatever the fuck. Because they're both very tall, very big, very massive men. There's a whole lot of meat in that ring. Okay?
Yeah.
And
so that's actually what I want to look up right quick, because somebody just sent me a message about NXT. Apparently, there was a storyline with Odyssey Jones.
Yeah.
With apparently Odyssey Jones, before he went to WWE's Raw main roster, apparently the rumor was that he was supposed to face Obafemi and beat Obafemi for the title.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's literally the only person I
did hear about that too. I'm glad that you mentioned it, because there was a story running about that a few weeks back. Even like right before Obafemi became champion, Odyssey Jones was supposed to be in that spot with Oba going for the North American title. Whenever they vacated it.
Of the match.
Oh man, you have no idea how much I looked forward to watching those two men. In the words of Big E, big meaty men slapping meat. All right, that would have been a huge freaking meat match.
We currently have Big Bronson Reed slashing and murdering people on WWE Raw.
Yep.
He's currently out right now, and the feud
he won't be out.
Going to get
he won't be out long.
Was with Braun Strowman. and then Braun Strowman's going for the Intercontinental title. But do we see Bronson Reed causing Braun Strowman to not go for the Intercontinental title?
Possibly.
Or do we possibly see Bronson Reed going back to NXT
No.
for a title against Obafemi? Because he has said on multiple occasions, nobody on any roster can beat me.
I don't see
Which would be interesting to see. Now, Bronson Reed did not. I mean, he spent a decent amount of time in NXT before moving up to the main roster of Monday Night Raw, and to have him back on NXT to face Obafemi, that would be a huge ratings boost, if you want my opinion.
Yeah.
Might get a couple 100,000 more views, coming from the Raw fans going check out NXT. Now,
look what Big Otis versus Obafemi. Look at how the ratings did for that.
That was a great match too. That was a great match.
That was some improved ratings for that.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, like I said, Obafemi retaining the North American Championship. Congratulations, Oba, and hopefully your title reign lasts a little bit longer. Let's see if Oba can become the longest reigning North American champion in the company's history.
Oh, that's easy. He can easily do that. I mean, look at this guy.
Because there's not very many big men like him to be able to stop him.
Finishing off NXT, we have Jada Parker defeat Jasmine Nix. I don't know the name though.
Nix, yeah, from Fatal Attraction, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jada did use the hip attack to get the win. Fatal Influence attacked Jada after the belt, which of course, they're showing their dominance as a faction. This is basically Toxic Attraction all over again. Fatal Influence is a rebirth Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
Let's see. We had the Roxanne Perez promo at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you about. I'm reading on it now.
Yeah, Chelsea Green came out, interrupted, saying that, if anybody deserves a shot to NXT Championship, blah, 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 Julia's music hits. Now, I'm a big fan of Julia. I've been following Julia whenever she was in Stardom. She is the founder of a faction in Stardom known as Donna Del Mondo, one of the most dominant factions in Stardom's history, one of the hardest hitters in Stardom's roster. Yeah. She tagged up with Syuri, which is the head of a faction known as God's Eye in Stardom. They were multiple-time Stardom Tag Team Champions. Julia was also the company's head champion, the Wonder of Stardom, World of Stardom champion for a hot minute, and she's also stood toe-to-toe with current New Japan or IWGP Women's Champion Mayu Iwatani in a knockdown drag-out match. This woman is tough as nails. During Julia's return, her farewell tour in Stardom, she had a match with Tam Nakano of Stars, which is another faction, because Stardom has a lot of factions.
Yeah.
And the match she had with Tam, she was hitting this girl with so many headbutts it caused a golf ball-sized knot on Tam Nakano's head at the end of that match. You can see it, she was growing a horn. It was nasty. See, Julia comes from a company where you're working snug, very snug, if not stiff. Yeah. Some people call it strong style, but if anything, strong style really stands for the fighting spirit. Now, there's a lot of strong style. Let's not compare her to Shinsuke Nakamura.
What the hell happened to Shinsuke? Is he?
I thought that was the same thing, right? Yeah, he's
Sabbatical. Well, he's doing house shows.
Sabbatical, motherfucker. That's called vacation. That's called retirement.
Oh no, he's doing house shows.
Some badass Japanese style anime promos, and you're like, bye-bye.
Yeah, but he at the same time
But he's also doing house shows. He's still doing house shows.
He's doing house shows, but at the same time, he could go back and wrestle with New Japan because they're doing that now. He can do both.
Yeah, I mean, just what was it, last month or so that he was part of the ring crew, like a fighters crew, like an MMA fighters fight team.
Yeah.
He was cage side, and that guy won the match. And you seen Shinsuke doing the picture with the finger poses and all. I was like, yo, Shinsuke's in the cage. What's up? That was actually really cool to hear. So going back to that promo, Julia made her presence known by basically taking out Chelsea Green.
Is this the same Chelsea Green that is
That's Matt Cardona's wife, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so the one thing that kind of killed me on that knee shot that Julia gave to Chelsea Green is that the camera angle showed the obviousness of that knee strike. That girl was a mile away and a day short whenever it came to making contact. They had the wrong camera angle whenever that knee was thrown.
The NXT is known for the bad camera shots.
And
you can't save the camera shots from the fans. I mean, look, they had the Bronson Reed, I think it was, where he almost freaking murdered the guy with the stairs, and it looked like he did. But then you had the fan with the different angle, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, let's close out the week with SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown. Yeah. Starting off the show, Cody Rhodes comes out, promo, and he actually called it. He said, I'm going to invite the Bloodline out here, and here comes Solo Sikoa. Best part of that whole promo, which I thought was awesome, was he was talking about who deserves a shot at the title, and he was looking Solo in the face. And he's like,
he looked past Solo.
I'm not talking to you.
Past Solo and
he's like, Jacob Fatu, step up. And then when he got on that ring apron, I was like, not fangirling, but I was like, this turn is coming. We know it's coming. And all of a sudden, I guess he started screaming, I love you, Solo.
Like, I love you, Tribal Chief.
But that promo was good. So obviously they're not going to put the title on Solo Sikoa right now.
Solo
storytelling at its finest.
It is.
Can we? I mean, I know that we got Kevin Owens, but for the love of baby Jesus, can we please get away from freaking goddamn Samoans? Because we've been dealing with Samoans in the world title picture.
We're not going to.
Like since before my child was born. I think Ray Owens was born in the Samoans versus World Heavyweight Champion area. And there's not going to be a single.
We're knocking on 5 years with
I think it was swimming in our dad's ball sacks whenever the Samoans are still winning world titles. It's not going to stop.
The fucking headhunters, the head shrinkers.
It's not going to stop.
Saga Kid and Rikishi.
Yes.
The only time that we didn't have Samoans
3-minute warning
world titles was John Cena in the Ruthless Aggression era.
Oh, it's 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time that we did not see Samoans go for world titles.
Every generation of the WWF/WWE.
I'm sorry, my
it's like the
apologies.
70s.
Umaga versus John Cena for the world title.
Well, Eddie Fatu, man, yeah.
So after he tells Jacob Fatu to step up, Jacob Fatu said, I love you, Tribal Chief. He gets down. Cody Rhodes gives him his title match. Here comes Nick Aldis in the match, whatever his name is. We got it set. On the season premiere of SmackDown on USA, we have a steel cage match for the world title, which is obviously going to end in something. It might be a no contest. It might be a pin. But listen, somebody is making their return, or somebody's making their debut. It's this world premiere SmackDown. It's season premiere. You have to do it.
What you got, Jim?
It's going to be an Uso brother. And it's going to be Roman Reigns.
Now, going back to what you just said, they had an interview with Jimmy Uso last week, and he said he is ready to return. He is 100%. But they're not ready for him yet. He said he will come when they're ready for him. They're not ready for him yet. So he could, but he could. Exactly.
When Roman calls, hey, what's up, big dog? I'm there.
Well,
that's how that's going.
Going with the steel cage match, of course. DIY and Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins comes in. That sets up our main event for the evening, which we'll get to later. Then it followed with Bayley defeating Tiffany Stratton.
That was a really good honest opinion.
Was this Bayley's first match since she lost the title?
Yeah, no. This is just her first match. Her leave. Because she had a few weeks leave.
She didn't she have a match last night? I mean, last week?
No. Bayley didn't
have a last week.
No, because whenever they did the beginning of the beginning of the show where they show everybody walking into the arena, they showed her and they said she's back. She's back for revenge for Tiffany Stratton screwing her out of her title loss.
That's right.
Right. She did do a run-in for Bash in Berlin.
But I like
But if
you
you
notice,
notice, Tiffany Stratton was looking at that title
in the backstage area.
But
it's how they're storytelling it. They're storytelling it just right with the Nia Jax causing her the title. Like they're doing these little intricate where it's gonna be to the point where Tiffany's like, I'm done. It's about to be Tiffany time. You keep on fucking me over. I keep fucking you over. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Like they're breadcrumbing it. They're just leaving breadcrumbs. They're leaving the breadcrumb trail leading up to Bad Blood, or maybe even the next pay-per-view. Maybe hell, even leading up to Survivor Series. You never know.
Yeah.
Because you never know when she's gonna cash it in.
True.
I say I'm pushing for either Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble.
That's what I'm saying. Royal Rumble.
We
had everybody's match of the night. Apollo Crews defeats Giovanni Vinci. What are they doing?
A 5-second match.
What are they doing? Homie didn't even get to take his clothes off. And he's wearing Gucci.
You gotta spend all this money for these 1, 2, 3,
get the hell out
fucking promos and these fucking vignettes for Giovanni Vinci for him to lose to Apollo Crews of all superstars. Apollo Crews, backstage catering Apollo Crews in 5 seconds.
Well,
this was a simple telling of get up, get in, get off, get out.
It says the official had enough of him showboating, and so he called for the bell, and that's when Apollo Crews took the pin in less than 10 seconds to head of his loss. Now you're gonna
quit eating up TV time, fool.
You're gonna have Ludwig Kaiser or whatever his name is, Ludwig Kaiser. You're gonna let him turn on Giovanni, and we talked about it in 2 podcasts ago that we thought he was gonna come back, and he comes back to lose in 5 seconds. So I mean, it could be, but after that we had backstage.
Spend all this money on vignettes and
Yeah.
have him come back and lose that quick. I'm like, dude, who did you piss off in the next?
But another one that threw me from a loop right here was, like I said, whenever I told you we were talking about Bash in Berlin, I thought Kevin Owens' contract was coming up. That's why he lost. But he appeared on SmackDown backstage, and of course, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, which it's hard for me to say, but I think those two are going to be the future of the new era.
Oh yeah.
They started making fun of him and all that for facing his friend, so Kevin Owens goes to the GM and sets up a triple threat match with them. Basically, he won, but he got his ass whooped after that in front of his home crowd.
No, hey, that powerbomb, I love it.
Then you have him go to the back and Austin Theory, and then like, oh well, I don't care who he finds to face me, and we already know we're gonna see Randy Orton come back next week, rated RKO. It's coming.
Rated RKO.
Okay, so
maybe y'all can help me out with this.
No, rated RKO was Edge and Edge and
oh yeah, my bad.
It's just RKO.
Maybe y'all can help me out with this. I was lost. Okay, so
did y'all watch SmackDown?
Yes.
Yeah. The LA Knight promo.
I'm so lost with where the United States title is going right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, moving up to the LA Knight promo. Yeah, LA Knight he's had 2 successful title defenses, which is good.
But it confused me
because they throw in Carmelo Hayes and Andrade in this now. They have their own.
Yeah, now it's either gonna be, something tells me it's gonna enter the no contest next week, and it'll probably end up becoming a triple threat at Bad Blood.
That's what I thought about.
Championship, which, if anything, my honest opinion, you got a 20-year veteran. And then you got this young guy in Carmelo Hayes, and then you got a seasoned regular like Andrade El Idolo.
Yeah.
So you have 3 different generations of wrestlers.
Yeah.
Coming in. I think that with the right formula, because see, in a triple threat match, I've been in a handful myself. The psychology is nuts. Okay, it's like, because you gotta wrestle with a swivel on your head. You gotta have your head on a swivel in a triple threat, because you don't know what's gonna happen and what direction it's coming from, but you have to be ready. And with the WWE has been doing really well the last couple of weeks when it comes to triple threat matches, like qualifying matches for the Intercontinental Championship. All the qualifying matches for the IC title shot. They've been doing really well with those. WWE has been, like, their producers, their agents have been, they've been chomping at the bit to try to make these triple threats make sense. Not to mention Kevin Owens in his triple threat with
It's just too me for a loop because of, like I said, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade has their own thing going on right now. But now that I hear it from you, it makes sense that they're going to go. They each won twice, or each won once. They're going into this final match. You might end in a no contest, or LA Knight might have something to do with the no contest too. And then it's going to turn into another. Dude, have you noticed this is the third PLE we have with a triple threat match? I think they're pushing more triple threat matches out there.
It's just psychology. I think they've mastered the formula to it in a way.
Andrade needs to shut his mouth.
What do you mean?
Yeah, he needs to.
He needs a mouthpiece.
Like Zelina Vega should have went back.
I don't know if y'all saw Twitter, but somebody said something about a return or something, and Charlotte Flair responded. She's going to be making her return very soon, and it's going to be on SmackDown. It's going to be on SmackDown. I'm going to say not next week. It's going to be a pay-per-view. I'm saying it's either going to be Survivor Series or the Rumble. It would make more sense. It would make more sense. It could be, but it would make more sense for the Rumble.
Here's the thing: is that Charlotte Flair is not a regular WWE female wrestler. When she comes back for the title. She wins the title. She holds the title. So for Charlotte Flair to come back, she has to be implemented right into the feud for the world title and win it. That's the only way Charlotte Flair can come back.
Yeah.
Right. So that promo ended with LA Knight giving each of them a BFT, a blunt force trauma. Closing that segment and moving into the match backstage. The backstage talks in the back with the general manager. Next thing you know, it turns into a match with Michin and Chelsea Green, managed by Piper Niven. Niven helps Chelsea win the match, of course. Michin's been getting her ass handed to her week in and week out. Even though it was like she had a very convincing match. I actually thought Michin was going to get the win on this one. In a way. But at the same time, I was thinking, no, wait, it's Chelsea and Niven. They're going to pull off the heel win. And that's exactly what happened. Chelsea Green got the win.
Agreed.
Then, last but not least,
main event.
The 8-man tag match. The 8-man tag match, DIY and the Street Profits versus the Bloodline. Bloodline basically...
Once again, this wasn't an 8-man tag match. Once again, this was the Jacob Fatu show. Every week, Jacob Fatu is the main person.
He's an absolute monster, dude.
He is. Like, they're not using him right.
Of the Bloodline right now, he is the most intense. I would say, he would be the one to surpass Roman Reigns if given the proper storyline.
Going back to the beginning of the podcast when we were talking about outside WWE things, did y'all see the previews from Zilla's heavyweight title defense?
Oh, Zilla Fatu's match. Yes, I did end up watching that.
That was once again, I don't watch anything
House of Glory, right? Was that House of Glory wrestling?
Yes. That was phenomenal.
That's a great federation.
Bro, I would love
if y'all are familiar, if y'all are not familiar with House of Glory Wrestling,
it
is an awesome independent promotion. They have a good following. You can find them. I think it's on Trilla TV.
Yep. I watched it on TikTok.
But if you are a Fight TV subscriber, or I think it's either Fight TV or Triller TV, if you have a subscription with one of them, you should be able to watch House of Glory Wrestling.
Yeah.
Zilla Fatu is tearing it up right now.
Dude, that Samoan Spike. Oh. Jimmy, you're upside down again.
That Samoan Spike is really awesome. It's a pop-up Samoan Spike.
Yeah, I know.
Black.
Yeah, it was a good match though.
And then Zilla's a freaking unit, dude. He is tall. People don't realize.
I don't remember really what happened after. I just remember Solo Sikoa does the 2 Samoan spikes for the win on Montez Ford, but I don't remember anything happened after that. I think I turned.
Yeah, it was just a beat down, and they all got in the middle of the ring and did the
one sweet ones. Yeah, they can stop that because Roman Reigns is the one.
Is the one.
But
and the only one.
And I agree.
So what do we have?
OTC will always be the OTC.
Let's see what we have. We have. Y'all can. Okay, I'm pulling up my calendar right quick.
So October 5th is Bad Blood, so we've got less than a month away from that. So y'all will be able to see us in the pre-show live in the shed. Justin has been upgrading everything in the shed. We got new mics.
I'm so ready.
We got the mixer, good microphones. You're not gonna hear anybody, like cutting each other out like what you hear on the remote version.
It's gonna be legit.
We got 3 more weeks like this, guys.
That's what I was looking up. We got 3 more weeks of these type right here, and then we're gonna be live 2 hours before the show. We're gonna go live, and
we're gonna do a 1-hour post.
Everybody is welcome. Come join us. Jump in the chat. Tell us what you think. Give us your opinions.
And also,
we talk back to you as much as you talk to us.
Also for the big events.
Oh, absolutely.
The main 4.
The fan interaction is always great.
The main 4: Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Survivor Series, we're not going live 2 hours before. We're going live 3 hours before because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I'm going to do what I do.
So guys, we're going to have to get, Jimmy, you and I are going to have to be at Justin's for 2:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, that's going to be a big day.
Yeah, that damn.
Look, all I'm saying is if that's on a Saturday, I'm coming to your house after I get off work, Justin. I'm going to crash on the couch for a little bit.
I was about to say that, yeah. But, so like Cody said.
Justin, what's for dinner?
Oh, wow. I'm about to say, I'm going to do what I do best, do the tech and cook. I made stuffed cabbage rolls today. They were so delicious. My first time
I'm going to do what
it.
I do best.
Yeah, look good. So, Cody was right. We have a lot of new things. We have new microphones, which you can see right here. We have new XLR microphones, so we'll be able to hear each other better. We have a new 4-channel mixer. Actually, if you look at Cody's screen, you see his flag. We have a flag just like that with our logo on it. That's going to be behind us on our setup. We got new lights, LED lights for the shed. And also I ordered 120 12 by 12 by 1 inch foam padding that I'm going to be putting.
Soundproof bad boy.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be soundproof per se, but it's going to be up there for a point where, when we talk, it won't bounce off the steel and come back to us. It's going to be really crisp, our voices.
Very, very, very,
We are going to be one of the most professional ghetto shed podcasters.
What he just said. But we're gonna
get over it.
I got major plans in the works right now. And of course, I'm almost done paying off my truck. So as soon as I pay off my truck, my wife's gonna get a vehicle. But after that, I kind of want to start saving up, and I want a bigger shed.
Oh hell yeah!
I did just start my new job where I'm actually making a little bit more than I was before. So that's something that's going to come into play as well with Justin getting ready to pay off his truck. He's going to be helping his wife get a vehicle at the same time with me.
Cody, you saw the shed in the yard, right? My nanny's, the big one?
Uh-huh.
They actually, the way they built that one, the walls actually has the indents to put insulation. Like if you want to put insulation, they have the indents for it. So she paid $7,000 for that, and they actually came to the house and built it ground up for her in the backyard.
Nice.
Yeah,
my dream shed that I want us to have is a nice big shed where each one of us have a nice big old comfy chair like I'm sitting in mine.
Yeah.
Or we can relax. Relax, watch the shed, have our little mic stands attached to our chairs, have us drinking and being relaxing, and just being professional.
That's what have a 360 camera in between all of us, and it just rotates.
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order some more cups, and I'm gonna get Ashley to make us a cup with just our logo, like the shed logo, with our name on it. That way we know whose is whose. And when we do podcasts, we can have that in the front of us to drink out of. Kind of promoting our own.
And to give everybody a heads up, tell all your friends, tell anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening. If you are part of the Shed Podcast, if you are a subscriber and you are part of the Bad Blood, you come in with the PLE and we see you, you will be entered in to go ahead and win a Shed Podcast Cup. And it will have whatever PLE event that we're working.
You
could stand a chance of winning.
We actually need to post
Shoot, I got some of the product right here, actually.
Show it
that
off.
was made before for the previous shows.
Go ahead, show it
look. We had the SummerSlam cups from all the logos of all the
those are some cups that you guys
years.
can go ahead and stand a chance of getting.
Yeah, let's get that straight.
We also had
that
our Money in the Bank.
That SummerSlam logo idea was my idea. And I'm doing the same thing with
Your idea?
I'm doing the same thing for
I even
sponsors.
have one of my logo of the flag that I have.
So yeah, it's good quality. We need to post that on our Facebook. So I'm gonna leave it up to one of y'all to do that. Go ahead and post on our socials that if they're there, like once they can type hi in the chat. They're gonna be entered in the giveaway. And at the end of the night, we're gonna put everybody's name in a cup, and we're gonna pull to see who wins that giveaway. And we're gonna make sure they get their cup.
And if you can let Ashley make the cup, I can go ahead and hit her up this week to go ahead and get it taken care of. And we can go ahead and get the cup made so we can get pictures taken, put it up on our social medias so they can see what
I'm gonna get her to make it tomorrow.
Okay. And tell her I got her this week whenever I get on Friday.
It's not gonna be a Who is that?
What?
Oh, my wife's phone's ringing. So yeah, let's go ahead and end it up. Cody close us out for this week.
Guys, we want to thank y'all for checking out the live stream of the Shed Podcast. Be sure to tune in with us next Sunday. We're probably going to do it a little bit earlier, depending on how everybody's schedule runs around.
It's going to be earlier.
Like, let's say, 6 p.m.?
Yeah, roughly.
So 6 p.m. Sunday, Central Standard Time. Be back here on the Shed Podcast. Until then, I am Just Built Different, Cody Hawkins, Jimmy Fusho.